Today's video, I'm giving a tour of the King Twin Wilderness RV that we're currently driving across New Zealand. The RV behind me is what we've been driving around New Zealand for the past 10 days or so. And in this video, I want to do a walkthrough of this motorhome in case you're thinking about coming over to New Zealand. Also, even if you're not thinking about coming over to New Zealand and you're just interested in RVs, this one has an incredible layout. When we first came over to New Zealand 5 years ago, we were so impressed with the Burstner motorhome that Wilderness had for us as we traveled across New Zealand. And this one has some really interesting upgrades that I've seen in no other RVs, and they've made a huge difference while we've been traveling around with our family. So I'm excited to show you. I'm gonna start with the exterior and just do a couple high-level things so that you can have an idea of what's on this motorhome. It has a diesel engine. They've been super easy to fill up as we travel across New Zealand. We've covered quite a bit of miles on the North and the South Island. We have not had to fill up with AdBlue just yet. We haven't gotten a low notification or anything like that. It's 7.4 meters, and it has definitely one of the largest storage bays I've ever seen on a motorhome. The storage bay on this thing is absolutely ridiculously huge. We travel with a double stroller, a really large suitcase, and as you can see, we have 4 camping chairs provided by Wilderness, a large cooktop, an oversized bag that we carry our travel car seat in, and there's still so much room in here. So whenever you check in, you've got your gray water hose, your electrical hose, and your freshwater hose. We just got to a holiday park, so I'm gonna go ahead and hook us up to electricity. And we do have a cassette toilet on this RV. We have another video that shows kind of what a cassette toilet is if you're unfamiliar with those. We'll link up to that here, but it's a cassette toilet. We dump it every other day or so. It really just depends on how often you use it. Every holiday park that you visit in New Zealand will have a dump station, and many towns have dump stations as well for free. So if you're not staying at holiday parks, you often can just pull over and dump at a approved location that you can find using the Campermate app, which I highly recommend. Okay, let's go check out the inside.
I'm getting food so I can go cook.
How's the kitchen been?
This one?
Yeah.
This is probably my favorite stove setup that we've had. The way like one's in the back and two's in the front. But we have an oven, which is insane to me. We never have an oven, and we've used it almost every day.
Fridge is big enough for a pizza box.
This is a small pizza box, but yes.
Tons of cabinet space. And up here is where you'll have your coffee cups, all your glasses, and this is my pastry drawer where I stuff all our pastries for tomorrow, coffee plunger, which comes with the RV, as well as our kettle.
We have rented RVs in a lot of different countries, but as soon as we walked into the Wilderness, I was amazed, again, even though we've rented from them before, at how nice the RV looks. The motorhome, or camper van actually, since that's what they call them over here. So this layout is similar to what you see in most rentals. We have the dinette and the chairs swivel. Actually, there's a bench seat that you can put up over here, but we told them that they didn't need to teach us how to do that because we have a car seat and we didn't want to have to move it. But it's possible somehow. There are 2 other things in this little living / dining room area that I totally love. One are these hooks. There are 4 hooks up here. We've got 4 people, 4 jackets to hang. So having a spot to hang everything has been super helpful. We've used those every single day. Obviously, we cleaned them up so the RV would look nice and pretty on camera. The other thing is that there's like almost a full-length mirror right here, and you could never really see what you look like in an RV, which is not great if you're a vlogger and you're always on camera. But having this mirror means that you can see how you look. Even if you look bad and you haven't showered in 6 days, it's like whatever. You at least know. All right, I'll let Heath show the rest.
Something that really impressed me when we did our initial little walkthrough with Wilderness was the way that the shower is set up. because when you're not using it, operates as extra floor space over here, which again, when you're in a really small space, makes quite a big difference. So over here on the floor, we have a board that goes down on the ground. So when you're not using the shower, it operates just kind of as extra floor space for you to stand on, throw stuff in, whatever your heart desires. And then whenever you do want to use the shower, you just pull it up and then you've got your shower and the doors just pop out. And the hot water we have on this RV is all run through the Truma. So it'll be right over here above your fridge. So there's a few settings. You can set it to eco, which is basically good enough for one person to take a shower. You can run it over to hot. That'll be like a couple people can take a shower. It takes about 20 minutes to warm up. And you have boost, which I assume is slightly above that. We actually haven't needed to use that because the water is scalding hot as is. So most of the time, if I'm trying to do dishes or anything like that, I'll just leave it on hot. And over here on the Truma, you also have where you can turn on your thermostat in your furnace so you can heat up the RV. We've been here in the fall, so there's been a couple mornings where I've just wanted to get up in the morning and crank that on. We haven't needed it a lot on this trip, which has been really nice. And the last thing over here on the Truma that you'll use is when you're hooked up to electricity, you'll use EL2, and then when you're driving or just not hooked up or freedom camping, you'll just use the gas feature. And the fridge is automatic. So if you're hooked up to electricity, it'll automatically switch over to electricity. And if you're not, it'll run off of your propane. But one thing that is important when you're driving New Zealand is that you always want to turn off your propane while driving. That is a rule or a law. Either way, it is something that you need to do whenever you're driving. And our bathroom. It's a bathroom. There's toilet paper, cassette toilet. This toilet actually moves a little bit. So you have a bit more space over here in the bathroom. You've got plugs if you need it. I don't know, charging your phone while you're in the potty or hair dryer, whatever you're using plugs for in the bathroom. And then nice space over here for toiletries and everything else. And then for hanging up your towels. One thing we have used a couple times on this trip is this bed behind me. So there is a set of twin beds in the back of this motorhome that converts it to a large king. Before we arrived in New Zealand, Wilderness emailed us and asked if we wanted it to be in 2 twins or 1 large king. And because we've all been sleeping back here, we just made it into 1 large king, but that's easy to convert later if you just want 2 twins. And behind me, you have what I would call pretty much a full bed. I don't know the exact specs on this thing, but I've pulled it down a couple nights when I wanted to just have my own space, and it's been really easy to put up and go down, and it just pulls right down. So it pulls down, locks into place, and then when you don't want to use it anymore, you can just lock it right back up into place. And so you could still go underneath, and it's actually nice if you're traveling with a family and you have someone that wants to sleep up here, and then you've still got a back area. It's been really good. And that pretty much concludes it for the tour. If you have any more questions, I'd be happy to answer those in the comments. Alyssa is cooking dinner. Usually this is a 2-man tour, but hopefully it still gave you a decent idea of what the layout and look and feel of this RV is. So if you're thinking about coming over to New Zealand, you kind of get an idea of what they look like and what they feel like.
Rented RVs from I just saw that happening.
Hey Ellie, let's leave the door open, okay? Silly.